Hello my fellow adventurers, Ryan again from D&D Awakening. Today we take another trip into our first ever adventure of Dungeons & Dragons with episode 5, Was It Only a Dream? If you've not already seen parts 1 through 4, you'll find a link on screen now. And if you are new here and not already done so, why not show us some support by hitting that like button and maybe that subscribe button as well. Your support really helps us grow here at D&D Awakening, and onto the story. It was late. How late I can't say. But the sun had yet to rise in the distance and no animals in the surrounding forest had yet to make a noise. Melkor arose to see a strange sight. He saw a green glow above the tree line in the distance back towards the road, and walking towards it, he could see Alegna, followed a few steps behind by Hailman. Not sure what was happening and not wanting to let his friends walk into danger, he followed swiftly behind them. By the time he had caught up with them, they were standing, mouths gaping wide open, staring into what appeared to be a shimmering green light, roughly 8 feet tall by 5 feet wide. "What the hell is that?" questioned Melkor, startling both Alegna and Hailman. I don't know, responded Alegna, fear across her brow. "I was sleeping in the tent after our fight when I heard a noise. It sounded like whispers in the wind. It sounded like my mother." "I heard something too," replied Hailman. "There was no voices, but it sounded like music. Then I saw Alegna walking towards this light, so I followed, not knowing what else to do. Did you hear anything?" "No, I heard nothing," replied Melkor. "I won't use the privy, but I saw you both heading this way when I left the tent. That was when I saw the light in the distance. What the hell is it anyway?" "I don't know, but I can feel it. I can feel it drawing me in," whispered Alegna, and with that, she stepped forward into the light and vanished. "What the hell?" bellowed Melkor. "What do we do?" answered Hailman, his voice shaking with panic. "We go in after her. That's what we do," Melkor replied. "What about the others?" said Hailman. "Alegna needs us more right now. We go in." And with that, Melkor jumped through the portal. Knowing his two friends were in danger, he knew he needed to help. Hailman sucked in his gut, breathed deep, and jumped through the portal after his friends, knowing no matter what was on the other side, he would face it side by side with those of his friends. Within the blink of an eye, Hailman found himself in a dark room. Standing in front of him was Alegna and Melkor. "Where are we?" asked Hailman. "I'm not sure," replied Alegna. "It looks like an old keep." The trio found themselves standing in a dark entranceway. Ahead, the trio could make out 2 flights of stairs leading to a balcony overlooking a massive entrance sprawled in front of them. "Hailman, light a torch," asked Melkor. "I've tried the door behind us, and it appears to be sealed by wards. We need to move forward. I will lead the way." The 3 friends walked into the entrance hall. It was 30 feet to reach the staircase ahead. To the front was a thick wooden door which glowed a dull green. To the left of each stairway was an entrance, both to the left and right. About 50 feet from where they stood in either direction were 2 wide archways. "Where do we go?" asked Alegna. "We stick together and we will go to the left," replied Melkor in a calming yet strong tone. "We need to take it slow and see what we can find. I want out of this vile place as swiftly as possible." "There's magic in the air," chipped in Hailman. "I can sense it." "You don't say," replied Melkor in a sarcastic tone. At that, Alegna just laughed, which echoed through the dimly lit entrance. "Will you keep it bloody down?" Melkor growled. "Sorry," she replied while giggling to herself. The 3 adventurers slowly approached the door to the left, an open archway 7 feet high and 3 feet wide. Melkor went first, slowly followed by Alegna and Hailman with a torch to the rear. It was his only way to see in this dimly lit entrance. Through the opening was a long wooden dining table, 4 chairs at each side with 1 chair at the table's head. The table looked set for dinner, but the inch of dust clarified that no one had been eating dinner here for many years. Above the table, where you would typically expect to see a chandelier, floated a crystal orb. Inside appeared a key. "I'll investigate it," whispered Hailman. "What does your investigation tell you?" eagerly asked Melkor. "Yes, it's an orb, and there's a key inside. I'm guessing it's magical," replied Hailman. "Thank you, oh grand wizard, for pointing that out to us," replied Melkor. "On the chair, look," Alegna shrieked with glee. "What does it say?" "It's dwarvish," answered Melkor after inspecting. "This chair reads Zoft. The one next to it reads Narog." After checking all the remaining chairs, it appeared 3 read Zoft, and the rest all read Narog. "So what does it mean?" asked Alegna. "It means we should sit," he said. "Only sit on the ones that say Zoft." All 3 took a seat at the table. As the party sat, a bright light lit the room. Melkor saw a vision. Sat around the table were dwarfs, all young and full of life. A party and full of merriment, but within a moment it passed. The light faded away. The only illumination left was the globe that was now lowered onto the table. As it landed on the oak surface, the glow disappeared, leaving in its place a sturdy iron key. "What did you both see?" Melkor asked the others.
"What do you mean, what did we see?" replied Helman. "When we sat down, the key just floated down to the table. Is that what you mean?"
"No! The dwarfs! My clan! My father was talking to my mother. My wife and child were there too, playing a game where you are both sat now." "I saw nothing, Melkor," Elegna solemnly said. "I only saw the same as Helman. I'm sorry." Melkor didn't know what to say. He just sat there, not knowing what had just happened. Was he having a vision of the past? Or was his mind just playing tricks on him after being brought to this vile place? Maybe he would never know.
"We need to move on,"
Helman said with a stutter.
"I think we should try to see where this key goes, or if there are any more to be found."
"Okay, let us continue," Elegna replied. Melkor just sat there, looking into the distance, a sad look on his face. "Melkor, you wait here," Elegna said. "Helman and I will check the door to the north of the room and see if there is anything we can see. We will be back shortly. Is that okay? Are you okay?" "I'm fine. I'll wait here." Both Elegna and Helman headed to the door to the north of the room. As Helman passed Melkor, he laid his hand upon his shoulder before passing on. Melkor just sat, thinking of a world and a life he had long lost. "I'll go in first," whispered Elegna. "I don't think we should take long. I think he needs us right now, and we need his help to get out of here."
"I agree," replied Helman. "The sooner we are out of here, the better."
Within moments, both advanced through the door into a small, what appeared to be a kitchen. A very bare kitchen. The only thing of interest was a massive cooking fire with a few dry logs inside, and an inscription over the fireplace written in common which read, "Seek the fire, search the cinders."
"What do you think it means?"
asked Helman to Elegna. I'm not sure," she replied, "but there appears to not have been a fire lit in here for many years. Yet the inscription seems to be relatively new."
"I've got an idea,"
Helman replied, and within seconds he'd set the fireplace alight. But within seconds the fire itself burnt out, leaving a pile of ash. Within the ash they found another key. "Hee, that was a neat little trick, my little friend," Elegna chuckled. "Maybe you should show me that trick someday." He replied,
"Hee, maybe one day," with a chuckle, "if the god sees us through this."
After they searched the rest of the room and found nothing, they headed back to Melkor, who had now risen from his chair. He was standing, axe in hand, at the entrance, back into the main entranceway. "Did you find anything?" he asked.
"Ah, yes, we did, my friend,"
Helman said happily.
"We found another key. I wonder if there are any more and what we need to do with them."
"Let us not hang around and let us find out for ourselves." With that, they walked back into the grand entranceway. This time, the party headed to the room on the far side, passing the wooden door in between the two rising staircases to the viewing gallery. They tried to force entry as they passed the door, but it appeared magically sealed and had no keyhole. Once they reached the far side, they investigated what appeared to be a sitting area. On the eastern side was an old fireplace. Above the fireplace was an empty frame. In front of the fire sat a single armchair and stool next to an old writing table. On the table was a sealed envelope. In the envelope was a letter, which Elegna read. "The true heart of any home is a place in which you can put up your feet and rest. And if you wish to find your own home, then 4 keys you will need. Remember, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. You never know what might be inside."
"Ah, so it's a riddle," Helman whispered. "But why are we even here in the first place? And what does the riddle mean?"
"I don't know," replied Melkor. "But before this is over, I'm sure we will find out." Elegna then went and knocked poor Helman into the chair.
"Hey, why did you do that?"
he shouted. "I have an idea about the riddle, my friend," Elegna replied. "Now, be a good halfling, and put your feet up and lay back and rest." Not sure what else to do, Helman did as asked. It was then that a chest at the far side of the room fell from the rafters to the ground. "Ah, I was right. A trigger plate," Elegna told the others. Melkor slowly approached the chest as both Elegna and Helman stayed back. As he opened it, a smell of rotting decay filled his lungs and dust his vision. He fell away, coughing as he did. Stepping out of the chest was a lumbering mummy nearly 6 feet tall. Within a blink of an eye, Melkor charged at the creature. Not before Helman had thrown his torch at the creature, setting it alight, as Elegna released an arrow, hitting it square in the chest. As Melkor swung at the beast, he felt an arm stretch out and smash him in his chest, freezing him in place, unable to move. A second blow saw Melkor flying across the room, crashing into the fireplace. The creature, seeing Melkor go down, started striding towards the rest of the party. Luckily for the others, he was big and slow. Alegna fired 2 more arrows at the creature's chest. As the mummy stretched out a hand towards Helman, he saw a flicker of movement from behind. Now, in a rage, Melkor charged straight into the towering monster, sending it stumbling away from the halfling, who himself was now in a fiery rage. In anger and fear, he conjured a great fire, engulfing the creature in flames. The smoke was now that thick that no one could see the beast, but they heard a massive thud as the beast fell to the ground. It appeared in one blast. Helman had turned the mummy into cinders. Within moments, the smoke filling the room cleared as quickly as it came, leaving a very charcoal-looking corpse in its place. One down, Alegna laughed. Let us hope there's no bloody more of them, Melkor replied.
What now?
Asked Helman. Melkor didn't respond, but rose to his feet, took his great axe and swung it at the head of the creature, slashing its skull in half. Searching in sound, he found what they'd been looking for. The 3rd key.
Well, that's 3 keys down. It seems there's only 1 to go, Alegna hummed.
I'd still like to know why we are here, Melkor scoffed.
I'd rather not know and get the hell away from this place, Helman jumped in. The sooner away, the better, I say.
The party swiftly moved on, wanting to be away from this terrible place. They left the room in which they had entered, as there was no other exit from the room, and followed the entranceway to the staircase's right. Inside was a hallway that appeared to go up and around an arch. Ahead was a table, and on the table was a book. As Helman picked up the book to examine it, his newly lit torch blew out. The entranceway sealed behind them, and the corridor filled with gas. And they heard a voice as a whisper. For if it is life you seek, then you must be swift. For to linger too long will death only bring. Find what you seek, and seek some more.
Ah! Alegna screamed. We need to find the 4th key!
Both Alegna and Helman started searching for the 4th key, while Melkor tried to smash the windows ahead with his axe, all of which were repelled by magic wards. Knowing how deadly the gas could be, he removed a cloth tied to his arm before urinating on it and using it as a mask to slow the spread of the gas he was breathing. Alegna turned into a horse to run around the corridor as quickly as possible, but could not locate the key. Finding the doorway at the other side also sealed, it appeared there was no way out for our adventurers. They had to find the last key. And quick! In the far corridor were 4 vases, the only objects in the room. Helman attempted to cast Mage Hand upon the first, but magic repelled it.
The vase! It's repelling my magic! Look inside!
He screamed, fear taking control of him. Alegna, now back in her elvish form, reached inside and found the 4th key. It's here. Now, what do we do? She asked. Within seconds, they realised there was no way out, and the gas wasn't stopping. So, they did the only thing that seemed to make sense. They dropped 1 key in each of the 4 vases along the wall. Unfortunately, nothing happened. The party was weakening and time was running out. They quickly retrieved the keys before the gas killed them in hopes of still escaping. It was then, as Melkor reached in to collect the key from the end vase, his hand hit a lever inside. Within seconds, the closed doors raised and the gas lifted from the room. Coughing and spluttering, he said, "All that, and it was a switch in a bloody vase! Who the hell puts a switch in a vase?" Neither of the other 2 replied as they sat down, still coughing. As they started to feel better, they suddenly realised that when the doors had opened and the gas lifted, all the lights had come on. "We need to go. Now," Melkor boomed. "We need to find where these damn keys go and then get the hell out of here." The other 2 members of the party agreed. In moments they were getting to their feet and heading out back into the main entranceway. After trying the glowing magical door again between the stairs, they headed up the stairs to see what they could find. To their surprise, at the top of the stairs on the viewing gallery were 4 empty portraits. Below each was a wooden plaque with a keyhole. Our 3 adventurers placed a key in each, turning the last key, and nothing happened.
"Well, that was anticlimactic," announced Helman. "What now?"
But before anyone could respond, a loud click filled the room, followed by a gust of wind and a loud howl. Looking over the viewing balcony into the entrance below, the 3 could see a glowing green, ghostly figure emerge from the sealed door previously unable to enter. It howled, "Welcome to your ends!" as it launched a blast of green lightning towards the party. Luckily, all 3 still had their wits about them and could dodge out of the way. Melkor, in a rage, jumped over the viewing gallery onto the floor below and ran straight at the deathly creature. Alegna released an arrow, hitting it but seeming to do no damage, just as Helman struck the beast with 3 magic arrows, all hitting one after the other. It was then Melkor ran straight into the creature, axe swinging left and right. He looked like a demon possessed as he snarled at the beast as froth filled his lips. There was anger and hatred in his eyes, his companions had never seen before. Every blow forced the creature back towards the sitting room where they had defeated the mummy. As Melkor pressed his attack, both Alegna and Helman followed behind. Helman casting a fireball, missing his enemy but igniting the fireplace that both Melkor and the creature were fighting frantically before. It was then Melkor took a slash to the chest, sending him spinning to the ground. Wounded, but not dead. Melkor raised his axe out of pure stubbornness more than anything else and deflected an incoming blow. It was then he felt his body regain his lost strength. He felt young and fresh once more. Looking back and seeing Alegna chanting a healing word in his direction. Beside her he saw what must have been 8 apparitions. 4 to either side of Alegna. They were his family, his parents, his wife, and to the side his daughter. Oh, his daughter. He would not die. Not here. Not now. His strength renewed, and he quickly rose to his feet. He dodged one blow aimed for his head, a second aimed at his chest, and with one last swing of his axe, he struck the creature hard in the chest. It exploded before what remained of it fell back into the fire. Green smoke filled the room, and within instants, there was only silence. It took a moment to take in what had happened, and when he looked back to see his family, they had gone. "Did you see them?" he asked quickly.
"The creature?" asked Helman. "Of course we saw the bloody creature. I thought it was going to kill us for a minute."
"No, not that. My family," he said. His voice drifted off into a whisper. "Melkor, are you okay?" Alegna asked concerned. "The only thing here was that vile creature. I think it may have given you a blow too many to that thick skull of yours." They all laughed at this, but Melkor knew he had seen his family, and he hoped it wasn't for the last time.
"Look, the door is open that the creature came from," mentioned Helman. "It looks like the one we came through to get here. Should we go through it?"
And with that, our 3 weary adventurers walked through the green light. The next thing Alegna, Helman and Melkor found was them staring back in their tents in a cold sweat. All 3 sat alone and wondered about what had just happened to them. Was it a dream or not? It didn't feel like a dream. Before they all fall back to sleep, they thought they needed to mention it in the morning to the other 2 to see if it was a dream or not. Melkor fell asleep last, thinking of his wife and his daughter, and oh how he missed them. So friends, that brings to the end part 5 of our fantastic adventures. Hope you enjoyed it so far. Next episode will be next Friday, so don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit that bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. But until the next one, stay safe and I'll see you soon.